Ladies and gentlemen, this is the new Marty McFly from Back to the Future. Hey, what's good, DC fans? This is Campfire Comics, man, and we're here to talk about DC Legends of Tomorrow Pilot Part 2. I'm Campfire Rich.
I'm Campfire Nate, and right off the bat, my favorite moment was just the opening. I mean, so many shows, drag it out, man. Right off the bat, the whole first sequence was just a giant fight, and I love that because it's something that we kind of miss from some of the other shows. I mean, they lead up to fights, but this show, man, two episodes in, and we've had more fights than we've had in some shows.
We
the
have
whole season,
like big fights. Like it's been great. Like they wasted no time. It's like, yo, we're on the ship. We're in 1975. There's an arm deal going down. Dude, Mr. Code's like, I got this. These are my people. And then they just take off and they jump right into it. And it was awesome. I liked seeing Damien Dark. For those of you who don't keep up with the Arrow, Damien Dark is the bad guy in the Arrow right now. He hasn't aged. He's the same, I guess, throughout eternity too, I guess. I'm not really sure. I know he has mystical power or whatnot, but I thought it was cool seeing him. Nate. Almost called you Noah for a second. Nate, what'd you think about that clever little comment where that dude said the master race is getting on my nerves?
I laughed. That was pretty good.
I was cracking up when he said that because I was like, master race. I was like, oh yeah, blonde hair, blue eyes, Nazi.
Yeah. Just they make these small little comments throughout it that it makes you laugh. Just little small things. It doesn't take away from it. But you can appreciate it too, because they're clever. So I like that a lot.
Yeah. That part, also in there, you had, the Atom, right? Like you got to see Palmer fight as, shrunken. And I don't know if we've really seen that before, but I thought it was cool. He popped out of his pocket. I wasn't expecting that to happen and just kind of flew around, busting up people.
We get a lot of the Atom, in suit, doing things small, but then we don't really get him jumping around and fighting, like Ant-Man style. We don't get that, and we got that in this particular, at the particular fight scene, which I enjoyed. I like that a lot. Just seeing them all just kind of get together and fight. And I mean, they didn't focus too much on one person, each one got a little bit of you got to see them fight, which I thought was kind of cool. Because I mean, it's hard when you have this many characters to try to highlight each one, and they did a good job of highlighting each of them, and getting to show them fight and everything. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was really cool. Now, 1975. This is the easiest time to activate a nuclear warhead because it was made by a 2-year-old. It was countdown clock, push the big giant red button, armed.
Yeah, it wasn't complicated. As many action movies we've seen where a terrorist has a nuclear bomb over the years, they've definitely gotten a lot more complicated. This one, nah, dude, it's just a big triangle with a square button on it and a clock. That's it.
Push the button. Now, Firestorm, dude, he absorbed a nuclear blast. Now that was pretty dope. When I was watching, I was like, what are they going to do with this nuclear warhead? It's about to go off. They're not going to be able to fly. What are they going to do? And he was just absorb the blast. I was like, oh, snap. I thought that was a really cool scene, how they did that. Okay, next favorite part. They went back to the school, and I'm like, yo, this is straight up Back from the Future, right? That's all I could think of was Back to the Future. And then did you catch it when he said, just call me Marty?
Yeah.
Marty McFly.
I thought that was...
I don't know if that was intent. I mean, we know his name is Martin, but I don't think that was coincidence. Man, that had to be on purpose. It was too perfect.
Yeah, these small little subtle things that either you don't pick up on or you do, and if you do, you really appreciate them. And I think that was just a little tip there. A tip to Back to the Future fans.
I loved it. I thought it was fun. I was like, because at first I was like, Marty. I was like, man, they ripping the brown coats, Back to the Future. They ripped something else too. We'll get to at the end. I really like the back and forth between the teams. You have, the team kind of splits and one's trying to go back and recover his tech. The other one's trying to steal the knife and all that. It's cool seeing them just interact, go back and forth, the little, jabs at one another. I wasn't really sure what Mr. Code and his crony was going to bring to the table. They just got super guns, you really got to see their genius when it comes to like stealing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like, yo, that's a dummy box. Do this. Like, I thought it was cool seeing the inner workings of their mind when they're committing a heist. I thought that was really awesome.
Right. I mean, like you said, they bring to the table not just like you said, not just their high tech weapons. They do what they're doing, man. They have this kind of like a street smart to them that maybe that obviously Palmer doesn't. That kind of street smart to kind of get around some of these things. And I thought it was interesting how Palmer, he messed up. Their street smarts came out, and then when they were locked inside the cage, Palmer actually had something, and it's kind of like that back and forth where you can appreciate, yeah, you're smart, stuff, and you know what, you're smart too, some stuff too, so that kind of like that appreciation because, at this point, you kind of get this vibe like, yeah, they kind of work as a team, but not entirely. Like they bicker too much, So like seeing little bits and pieces of how they're starting to appreciate what the other person brings to the table is kind of cool.
Now, that's what leads me into, I guess what we're going to wrap up with on this one is I'm ready because they were, you had Martin Stein, he messed up. Like they wasn't listening to the time dude at all. They was just kind of like, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's go. And he needs to be more forceful. It was almost like he let them just make mistakes, because they know how detrimental everything is when you mess with the timeline. And it was like they're not listening to him. They're just kind of a bunch of egos, right? I'm ready for them to be seamless. Like when they start to do something, they can just jump in and like really feed off each other where there's not a lot of hiccups when they're doing this. Now,
right.
With that being said, you kind of get that at the end. And this is the other thing I thought they ripped when they was like, they went all Avenger style, right? Like with Agent Coulson dying, it was like, for Coulson, we'll come together. We'll put our egos aside. We'll work together to make this happen. And it was like, for Carter. Dude, for a second, man, I thought Agent Coulson's name was Carter. I had to go look it up. I was just like, Agent Carter. I was like, let me go look this up, dude. I was like, they totally ripped Avengers, but...
No, it was interesting because, I mean, obviously this guy knows what he's doing. I mean, obviously he's a part of this whole, time police, basically, trying to, he has experience. He understands what you can do and what you can't to affect the future, but... like you said, he's not out there like, listen, you're going to listen to me. Like these guys all have very strong personalities. So like you said, he kind of let them mess up, let things go bad. And then they finally were like, all right, what do we do? So it's going to be interesting to see Rip Hunter kind of take lead on their missions. And at the same time, I know people are probably like, man, are you kidding me? They already killed somebody off, dude. If you read the comics, Hawkman dies a lot. I'm just going to let you know right now, Hawkman dies a lot. And I'm going to tell you what, he's always coming back, so don't worry.
Yeah.
We already know he's not completely dead, because he's going to... Hawkman's going to be back, guys. Don't get upset. Carter Hall has been killed more times in the comics than anybody I can think of. So don't worry, Carter Hall will be back.
Yep. But guys, those are our favorite moments. I really enjoyed this. I've enjoyed both of these episodes. And it was kind of what I expected as far as like bringing all these guys together and just getting into action. Fighting, having them work together. There's so many possibilities with this that it shouldn't get stale. I mean, messing with the timeline by itself could be a whole episode. Changing the future, them fighting his cronies. You still haven't even seen the bounty hunter come back yet. There's so much cool stuff that can happen to keep this show fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. You can do so much with it. And a lot of the time, some of the best storylines in the DC universe has had to do with time and things like that. So they pretty much have an open range of things they can do, and all of it taking place in the DC universe, which is exciting for DC fans. They get to see some stuff that maybe they probably will never get to see on the big screen. And it's exciting to see. But what I really want to know is, is anyone liking this show? I mean, I'm liking it. I don't know some of the people that sub to our channel, if they're digging this thing. If you watch this video, please comment, let us know. Are you liking this show? I've talked to people that said, yeah, I love it. I've talked to some people like, it's just, it's just another show. But I want to know what you think. Do you like it? And if so, why? If you don't like it, why not? That's the question I want to ask for everybody.
Yep. Let us know down in the comment section below, man. Like the video if you like the video, and subscribe for more stuff. We also have more stuff coming out. We do stuff almost every day. And until next time, people, we out.
See ya.